How's it going, everyone? It is Monday, February 12th, 2024, and this is the video for today. So, as always, we are going to be talking about the market, what's happening on a longer term, on a shorter term. We're going to go over the picks from the last video, and then we are going to give a pick for this video. So, let's start with the market. So, longer term again, right? Not a lot has changed. You can ignore these little tiny lines over here. Not a lot has changed. We've had a nice rally. I've drawn some trend lines and some channels just to kind of make sense of this move here. So you can see the channel that this up channel that we're in. And it kind of gives us some context as to how the move is going to play out. Are we going to rub into a little bit of resistance? Are we going to stall? So drawing these channels can really help on a shorter term basis, but as you can see, obviously on a longer term basis, we've made a pretty big move up. And fundamentally, things are looking pretty strong. The market has priced in a little bit more according to what the FOMC rate hikes have been doing. Inflation has been coming down. The economy is still strong, and the economy is still doing pretty good in this high interest rate environment. Now, on a shorter term frame, we got through a lot of the earnings and news about not the last week, but the week before. Since then, we kind of had this drift up on light volume, right? There's no one who's really looking to sell, so buyers are kind of nibbling at this. Now, we're going to get into the price action for today, which you can see has a pretty meaty move down, but price action on the way up, right? Here's this pullback, like I mentioned last video, compression, gap up and go. We actually held the gains, digested it for the day, broke out again, compressed a little bit at this psychological level around 500, and then moved up to make a new all-time high later today. So today was a pretty interesting day. We knew that our long-term market bias is bullish, but the market's getting a little bit overextended. The volume is light, and we want to be wary of a pullback. That would give us a much better opportunity to enter some swing longs. So we were kind of day trading this move on the upside. Mentally, for me, it was actually a pretty tough week last week, just because I didn't feel confident to take a lot of swings, but the market was still going up, so it felt like I was missing out on a little bit of opportunity. So luckily, I still executed pretty well, but it was an emotionally hard-fought execution. So I'm not sure if any other people can relate to that, but that's kind of how I felt. Today, we kind of continued that trend to start off the day. So we had a pretty flat open in the morning. We're going back and forth, not doing anything. And then in the first 75 minutes, 90 minutes, we broke through this high of the day. Whoops. So we broke through this high of the day. And, volume was still pretty light over here. We're not getting super crazy. And then we had a pretty nice spring up, looking like a buying climax. Now, we got a little bit ahead of ourselves. We had to pull back to the 8 EMA, and we wanted this to hold over here. If this long green candle held, that is a sign that, we could still go higher. Buyers are still interested. If this long green candle open starts to fail, then buyers are not as interested. So this is our first warning sign for the day. We kind of crack through this low of the day, and then we started to inch up higher. And then we got this candle. So to me, this confirmed double top, slightly lower high, long red candle off the high of the day. This is what's going to spook bulls, right? All the gains in this past 30 minutes erased in a single bar. So from here, we got quite a big flush down, right? You can see how fast this move was from 120 to 215. In an hour, we took out the entire day's gains, long red candles, like some rising R vol. You can see how this bounce is pretty tiny, and we just completely cut through all these points here. The previous high of the day, the open, so we triggered all of these sell stops. We found some buying at the 500 level, right about the 500 level. So it looks like there were some psychological buyers right around this level, right around this high right here. And now we're just chopping around at the lower end of the day. And you can see 1OP is rising up, LRSI is rising up. Now, a couple of clues to start off this day. First, the beginning of this rally was non-tech led. Their crypto was strong, semis were pretty strong, but in general, tech was not leading the charge up. It was IWM. IWM was very strong today. So we knew that because it's a non-tech related rally, it's a little bit more vulnerable. And excuse me, a little more vulnerable, and the rally is kind of maturing. Tech is the one that leads off the rally, and then the other companies start to catch up as the rally progresses because tech gets a little bit hot, has to cool down for a second. Then the other stocks start to get a bid because they're still at good prices. Asset managers want to kind of balance their portfolios across some of the sectors. So that was the first clue. So I was mildly bullish to start the day, and I want to see this hold. Now, the second thing was that we knew we were being anticipatory, right? We knew that, all right, this could hold. We could still go higher. We're not quite sure. But we could stick with our day trade longs, I think, until this double top. And then you need to get out of that. If you're in swing trades, you have to take some heat over here. And now we're kind of waiting to see how the day plays out, right? You really can't get long, but we're also kind of at this psychological support. So we really can't get short either. This is a good time just to wait and see how the market is going to end. On the D1 chart, we can see that we opened here, moved up higher, and then closed here. So if we close below the open, we will have a bearish engulf on the daily chart. And that will be pretty, let me remove all these drawings here. Yeah, it makes it a little bit cleaner. So we'll have a little bearish hammer here off the D1, and then we can expect some sort of pullback. So that's what we were watching today, either a gap up and a fill in the gap for a nice bearish engulfing candle, or a bearish hammer where we poked higher, hit some resistance, and then sold off to make a new low. Now, the main thing we have to see before you do any sort of shorting is follow through. I'm personally not taking any shorts. You have to be pretty quick, pretty nimble, and you're against the longer term trend. However, if we open below the day's close, then we can consider some of those shorts for day trading tomorrow. So right now, we have a potential short-term inflection point. That's what I see on the shorter term. So shorter term right now, I was mildly bullish here. Now I am fairly neutral. If we can get through this low and we close the day on that low, then we'll have a little bit of bearish momentum going into the day. The second thing is that we have our CPI coming out tomorrow. So let's look at our market view. We can always see what is happening coming up in the week. So you see we have CPI coming out tomorrow. It hasn't been a huge mover in the past, but it's kind of values coming down. But this could also be some asset managers, right, taking some gains, de-risking a little bit before the CPI if they believe it might be hot, but not entirely if they believe they might be a little bit cold. So that's kind of the main mover this week. And there's some other minor stuff coming out as well. Retail sales coming out on Thursday. But short term, we're pretty neutral. So let's look at the stuff from the last video. I'll go over some of the picks that I was in, and then we will try to find a decent pick for today, although I'm actually not looking to take any trades today given what the market is doing. So picks from the last video. Let's go to LRCX. And let's see how it looked on a day trading basis. So you can see when the video came out, it was around 9:01. So somewhere around here. And it was a nice steady grinder. I've been trying to get better at trading these nice steady grinding charts. You can see that It's going higher, 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 compressing a little bit. Nice move higher. This is where SPY has a little bit of a bullish climax, gets ahead of itself. You can see it's stalling out while the market's moving higher, so you take your gains here. So this was a pretty nice move. You could definitely get in and out of here. Take $2, $3, $4, or ride the whole move up for $9. So not a huge pullback. There may have been some HA reversal opportunities, perhaps right around here. Or if you did a compression break, you could also get in on that. But with grinders, you didn't get quite the pullback, which is the mistake on my part. I was really looking for a deeper pullback, but I'm not really going to get it with these grinders. And if I do get a deep pullback on the grinders, it shows a little bit of weakness. So that was with LRCX. All right, so Riot. Riot is one I actually took overnight. And Riot was a nice overnight win. You can see here how we had a nice move up, stacked green candles, came back over here, tested the low, and formed a double bottom. And this was pretty key here. It was actually gaining relative strength, and this is when I added, or this is when I entered the trade. So if we look at the market over here towards the end of the day, from this 240 to 350, the market was going lower, and this stock was actually starting to hold its bid and inching up higher. So this tells me that this level that was resistance is now support. We have this relative strength, and we have this double bottom forming here. So that's when I took the trade. If you look at the Riot D1 chart, there is some resistance right here. So my target was around 1590, about $4. Or I guess I took the March 1st contract, so I took it for about $3.15, and my target was $4. You can see here how it moved up higher today, tested that resistance, chopped around for a bit. It's still holding its own pretty well given what the market's doing, but we are chopping down around this resistance level. I think with any market push up, it would go higher. But there's no need to put that out. It's not the highest quality, highest probability situation that we have in the market right now. So that was another day trade that also worked out overnight. You see, a lot of these worked out overnight because of this nice move higher. The other one that we were in was ASML. That's one we looked at as well. Similar to the other semis. So let's scroll back on this guy. And you can see beautiful, nice, steady price action. Pull back a little bit, went higher. And then this pullback was a warning sign where it started to sell off a little bit here. And then today, when it couldn't get back above the gap, obviously you did not want to be in the stock until then. But ASML, very nice chart. We also know that it's a little bit more overextended, so probably pulling back a little bit to the 8 EMA. I think this is a great time to set an H1 alert on the stock, on this pullback. So when it starts to gain some relative strength, you can evaluate the conditions, see if it's holding up, and you can enter the trade. And this is a beautiful little swing long you could probably take on this kind of stock. All right. So those are the 3-day trades that I pointed out. 2 of them were grinders. So I think these little tiny pullbacks, HA reversals work a little bit better on a stock like this. Nice steady grinders won't always have those HA reversals, but they may have pauses. Let's look at some of the trades that I were still in from the prior picks. So here we have Ally. Ally posting a huge candle today. So we're getting rewarded for our patience. You can see just moving up, 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 churning. I mean, it got hit a little bit in this 215 candle, but other than that, it's been pretty ignorant to the market, and our patience is being rewarded. So I believe we entered Ally somewhere here, January 26th, and then it pulled back a little bit. So now it's making a move higher. We'd want to see this move continue and probably exit for a scratch if it can, or a small win. So that's what I would be setting my target to. We also want to be cognizant that this move starts to hold now. We have excellent relative strength today. We want this move to hold and move up higher. If it can't, then that is a sign of a double top, and we want to exit out of the position. So Ally's looking pretty good. I think we will have our answer in the next few days. All right. Amazon was a pretty nice one last week as well. This week you can see it's testing that level, or today you can see it's testing that level. Yesterday you can see broke through here, pull back over here, pull back over here. So was nice steady drift higher. I believe Amazon, like I said in that video, a little more correlated with the market. You can see how it did not bounce at all with the market today in the morning. And now it is racing some of the gains from yesterday. Mega Cap Tech was pretty weak today, and that is also a little bit of a warning sign of the rally. So, again, this is why we're day trading. If you took Amazon overnight, the D1 is still intact, but you'd probably want to get out for a smaller win on this next leg up. All right. So, with all of that, let's give a pick for today. So, there's not like a ton of stocks. There are some good stocks, but given the market context, we would have to only want literally the best of the best longs. So my advice here is I'm not personally taking any longs, but if you are like, head in the sand, whatever, just in the interest of the video, I will give a long that I think will hold up pretty well today. So the one that I really like is FND. So I like FND for a couple of reasons. First, we had a nice move up in the morning, and we held all the gains. Even though the market made a new low of the day, we held around VWAP, and we had some really nice relative strength. And let's first actually start with the D1 chart. So D1, consumer cyclical, so not the craziest chart. You can see how it moves up and down. We want to get it in the middle of these ranges here. We can have excellent action. FND has been pretty weak on the D1, but it has held a lot of technical levels, and it has been gaining strength in the past couple of days. We have some room to this resistance level over here, and we have kind of held this support level that you're seeing kind of right around here. There's some support that we tried to break above, and then we failed, and then today we're breaking back above it again. We have some time before earnings as well. I also believe that in the event of a market move down, consumer cyclicals and more defensive stocks will be a little bit more resilient, right? We'll have money flowing out of the hotter stocks and more into the flight to safety assets. And we can check flight to safety today. Yeah, they're all up. VIX is up. Bitcoin, gold, utilities, staples, they're all up. So you can see how there's some money flowing into these areas. So FND is one that I really like. Another one that is great is ANF. I mentioned it again. Today got a little bit heated, so it may have to pull back a little bit, but just really, really nice relative strength and really tight price action, not really extending too far away from its 8 EMA. We have some time before earnings, and this stock has been resilient to a lot of market decline. So what I would do is if you really want, you could take a starter position in a stock like ANF, have it weather the market pullback, and then the market doesn't dip or continues to go higher. I believe ANF should be our pick. So if I had to pick one, and let's throw up IWM here. You can see this nice technical breakout of IWM over this line. Let's change this color. The wrong color. Nice technical breakout over this line. We do have this longer term high minus, I don't even know where this is coming from. Oh my gosh, that is a long high minus trend line. But this is a major level in IWM, right? You can see how it's been bouncing around here for a long time. And then the next major horizontal level is over here. Let me zoom back in again. That was a far zoom out. But this is a nice technical breakout on IWM. I believe it will have some follow through, and ANF is benefiting from that. So my pick of the day is going to be ANF. I'm going to add it to our YouTube picks. And I will remove these day trade stocks. The other one that you guys should keep on your radar here is GS. Now, you can see how GS has been trying to break above this compression for a while. Did it try to do it here in January 22nd, came back, tried to do it here again in January 31st, got sucked back in the compression. You can see that the bid is steadily rising and we have some higher highs. So it's looking like we have a slight bullish channel over here. If I were to draw, oh, that is not the right line. Maybe draw something like this. Pretty parallel. So there's a slight parallel channel here that it's rubbing up against. But GS was pretty strong today, giving back some of the gains here. And you'd want to see it obviously hold above this breakout level. That's why I was considering day trading it here. But I wasn't considering swing trading it here because we know that these breakouts have failed in the past. We want to be sure that the breakout will hold. Given also what the market's doing, we know that it may not hold. But if GS can break back above this level right here, we have some potential to have a nice entry point. We had a huge move up in December, and it's spent a lot of time just digesting these gains. The bid has been preserved, and we have not moved anywhere. I believe that it will stage a next. It'll have a nice next stage higher, and there will be an opportunity to enter this. So keep an eye on this stock in the event of any market pullback. If it's holding the bid and the market moves up, it's able to break through this level, we could have a really nice trade on our hands. So that is my one to watch out for. And in some of my current positions, this is what I'll end the video on. I have some put credit spreads on Meta over here. It expires this week as long as Meta holds the gap. And it's been pretty nice post-earnings so far. Our second one is Netflix. This expires a little bit later. I believe it expires 3/8. Let's check. Oh, there should be right here. Yes, expires 3/8. So that is doing fine. We have some time on that trade. I have my one share SPY swing over here that I'm still in, right? I scaled that a little bit here. Still took this last leg of the move on the one share, and I'll continue to hold the position until I see a double top on SPY and we really start to sell off hard. But until I see that, I'm keeping that long swing share, and I'm going to re-add to it on a dip. I also took some overnight wins. So I mentioned Riot earlier, which I took overnight. The second one that I took was SMCI. I took it over here on this little compression breakout, and I had a passive target at a half ATR target, which I took profits on this morning, right about 762. Yeah, it went up higher, but I'm not here to try to capture every penny of this move. If I get some nice, decent wins in this leg of the rally, I'm pretty happy. The final one that I took profits on was Meta. I had a one share swing. Today it broke above the compression, held up higher. And this is a pretty key point. When Meta was a little bit weak, sold off a little bit with the market. When I saw this double top at 120 and Meta was at VWAP, I was like, all right, I'm out of this trade. So I took about a $4 win on Meta. I wanted to get to 480, but we didn't quite get there. The price action suggested that we might get sucked back into the range. If you look at the H1 chart, you can see here how we have this long compression, and this is a nice way to see, bigger compressions. You can use these different time frames to kind of zoom in and zoom out and get the main picture here. But we are holding this level, which is very nice. We broke back out here, but the market sucked us back into this level, right? That's what I didn't want. So that's why I took the profits before we get sucked back in. And I'd rather be mostly in cash right now. So those are the trades I made. Pick of the day, let's put it up one more time, is ANF. If you really want to trade it, I don't want to take any main trades right now, but if you want to put on a starter position, you totally can. All right. So that's the video for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video.